In this video, I will show you how to connect a power plant to a city in Cities Skylines 2. So let's jump straight into it. So of course, electricity is one of the two essential services immediately available to you at the start of each Cities Skylines game, with the other service being water. Now to go ahead and provide your buildings with electricity, you need to first build a power plant, and then what you can do is connect it to your buildings and cities using power lines. The first power production facilities available to you at the start of the game are the wind turbine and the coal power plant. Now you can find your power production facilities by clicking on the bolt icon on the build menu. So if you decide to build the wind turbine, what you're going to need is to place it somewhere on the map that's got strong wind. Selecting a wind turbine from the electricity build menu shows you the wind power overlay. The darker the shade of blue on the map, the stronger the wind, making your turbine more efficient. Effectively, it should be placed in a spot where it would be able to produce 8 megawatts. As you place your wind turbine on the map, the tooltip will indicate how much power it will be able to produce in that spot. Now, if you have chosen to actually go ahead and build a coal power plant, it will need road access to the highway. The reason being is because the coal power plant needs to import its coal. What you want to do is also keep it some distance away from your residential zones, as both the ground pollution and noise pollution it produces will of course affect your citizens negatively. In fact, your best bet is to stick it somewhere close to your generic industry or garbage facilities, which are themselves polluting anyway and won't be negatively affected by your coal power plant. So now that you have your power production facility, it's time to hook your buildings up to the grid and get connected to the city. In this game, electricity can spread from one building to the ones adjacent to it, even across the street and small gaps. However, to connect clusters further apart, as is usually the case when connecting buildings to your first power plant, you're going to need power lines. To do this, what you're going to want to do is select power lines from the power menu and then click once at your chosen starting point to build the starting pylon. This will allow you to draw power lines going from that starting point to wherever you point your cursor. Of course, make sure you start and end your pylons of your power lines within the electricity range of the areas you want to connect. So as you can see in this image, that's the blue shading on the ground when in power view. Now eventually what's going to happen is your first wind turbine or coal power plant will no longer be enough to supply enough power to your city. In turn, buildings will start to complain about not having electricity, even though they should be connected to the grid. So if you click onto power in the info views menu, this will show you your city's electricity production and consumption. You can use this to see if it's time to build additional power plants like coal power plants or additional wind turbines. And as you go further in the game, a wider variety of power sources does become available to you, such as, for example, geothermal power plants, oil power plants, and solar power plants. Just a quick note that the build cost, upkeep cost, and power production of the hydro power plant depends on different factors in its construction, such as, for example, its size and the water height. So that is a quick guide on how to go ahead, build a power plant and connect it to your city in Cities Skylines 2. I hope this tutorial did help you out today, and if it did help you out, I would really appreciate it if you was to consider dropping down below the video, leaving a like and also subscribing to the channel. With that being said, I just want to take a minute to thank you guys for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in the next video.